Today I will be reading The Gallery of Henri Beauchamp. If you go into this one tiny, dingy, one-story bar in Paris, and the right bartender is behind the counter that night, you might be able to see a very exclusive gallery show of the lost works of one Henri Beauchamp. But to get in, you have to prove you're a devotee of the arts to get in. You'll be asked in clear, perfect English, what would you like to partake of this glorious night? Answer, absinthe, no matter what. Any other drink from whiskey to water will kill you as you sleep. The next question will regard the type, and you must answer one of two things: the stuff that man himself could not bear to take, or the good stuff, the best stuff. If you ask for any other abstain in any other ways, you'll be plagued by nightmares for 13 days. Each night's dream will be more horrible than the last, until upon the 13th dream, your nightmare will follow you. Every movement of your waking and sleeping life. Don't try and cheat the barkeep. The door locked behind you. You have to drink what he gives you, doom or not. That such a powerful man granted you audience should be enough. Besides, I've heard that dying complimented his drinks in their death throes. If you make it that far before sealing your fate, the bartender will say, "Be sure you handle this with care. This is the finest I have." From here, you may do one of two things. Say word for word, "I overestimated my fortune, and I bid you good eve." If the barkeep nods, you may leave the door you entered unharmed, and nothing gained or nothing lost, except the time spent inside. Or you could go on. You will be given a glass with 7-sided rim, with each side twisting ever so delicately around the basin until forming a sleek and simple handle. You will also receive a very, very, very special Aberdeen spoon in the shape of a key. The holes at the key top serve as a draining point for the alcohol to pour over the sugar cube. And of course, an unmarked bottle, stripped long ago of its label, scraps of paper sticking to its sides, covered in the rot of the decades past. The spoon is completely flat, but has two distinct sides, one with a groove along the shaft of the key, and one without. Turn the shaft down, so its groove will face down. If you attempt this face up, your absinthe will taste foul. If your nose will burn and your eyes will shrivel in their sockets with unspeakable horrors not of this world. Now, if your spoon is the right way up, begin preparing the absinthe, as one would. Put the sugar on the spoon and pour the alcohol over it so it gains its color and special qualities. Say cheers to your friend, the barkeep, and bottoms up. If you don't, the absinthe will burn every innard it touches with the power of pain of sulfuric acid. If you've done it right, the already dim lights will go off and the darkness will consume the bar. Don't be afraid. The darkness is the cue that had been approved for the exhibit. Wait out to the darkness and keep silent as the dead. Lest the bartender decides to make you up. So, eventually, not too long, 2 to 3 minutes, a green floodlight will shine brightly on the door on the far wall of the bar. The bar will be bathed in green. Not just from the floodlight, little luminescent spears will gently drift through the room, and the barkeep will no longer be there, nor any other unassuming patron inside before. There is no danger by this point. Consider it a safe point. If you don't finish the absinthe, you don't have to, but you might need the alcohol. Either way, take the spoon and put it in the keyhole of the green-lit portal doorknob. It will fit perfectly. And reach the end of the keyhole, and with a resounding click, inside a small elevator with the most beautiful woman in any mortal eyes can imagine, basing the green glow in such an angle that light reflects behind her into the shape of wings. The green the green fairy herself will ask you, going up, considering all the trouble you went through, it would only make sense to say yes. Now you only have one more hurdle to clear. She'll ask you, as you cross the line from the bar to the compartment, how will you compare Beauchamp's surrealism to that of, say, Rennie Margaret? Here's reply. For your reply, you must say, I've come to see more than the art tonight. If you don't, the green floodlight will blow out, the doors will slam shut, and the elevator will plummet through a seemingly infinite blackness before a real light glows brighter as the elevator nears the depths of hell. Now, if your elevator begins to go up, the green light will also fade, but in its place will be the cold glow of the moon. But before you recognize it, the elevator will reach the top. Hold up. But before you even recognize it, the elevator will reach the top of its well. Let's call it shaft not to get too intricate. Now, I'm not sure about this as the rest, but I've heard that if the green fairy kisses you on the cheek as she leaves the elevator, you'll be always blessed with a creative inspiration, a permanent, ever-changing muse. You can't ask her, you can't kiss her. She has to do it of her own volition. If not, well, nothing. But no reason to do it anyway. In anger, the woman who's responsible for keeping the Beauchamp painting safe for so many years. You will enter from the elevator a turn-of-the-century parlor with a large portrait of Henri Beauchamp on the left side of the opposite wall. On the right is a door. Taking your time to read the poster is a fairly good idea. As it explains the significance of Mr. Beauchamp, you see he was a struggling surrealist in the 1920s, always making art to try to be free of all from addition. He managed to do so. You see, after one night in a tiny, dingy, one-story bar in Paris, he begins to paint patterns. First it was geometric patterns, then complete fractals, then images from the newspaper the next day. Then the next week from 50 years ago, 100 in the future, and 200 in the past. Then, on the last night of life, he kidnapped 3 young girls from their homes at night, murdered them, and painted his finest masterpieces and rendered his yellows with the blood and bile. He committed suicide immediately after painting exactly 13 of these. Hold up. These are behind the door. The first 6 from the left show, from left to right, the genesis of the universe, and only the true visage that God is viewable to the eyes of man. The true image of Jesus Christ, the sprawling clouds from heaven, every pope from the first face is yet recognizable, and the portrait of Jesus in the appearance of the second coming. The other 6 on the right show from the right to left, the cataclysm of the universe, the only true visage of Satan as viewable to the eyes of man, the only true image of Judas, the sprawling flames of hell, and every human embodied demon from the first to faces not yet recognizable, and the portrait of the anarchist and the second coming. Now, 6 and 6 make 12, but what is the 13th? The 13th painting is turned around on its wall pin, the image facing the wall. The space around it is roped up out a very wide diameter. Under the flat image is a sign in 3 languages. The top is in the scriptures of the Syrian, and the bottom is the runes of the demonic orders in the middle, and the Roman letters do not touch. So, if you make it, maybe you can flip the canvas over and tell me sometime. Maybe you could tell me about it over a drink. That will wrap up today's video. And this will wrap up today's video. Goodbye. See you Wednesday for the first ever short.